Well, hey there, friend. It's been another long week, and there's much to yap about. I was thinking this week you could watch me play Stardew Valley. You could watch me play Stardew Valley. I'm a noob, so please, give me a break when it comes to that. I don't play games normally, but I've been enjoying Stardew Valley. So, get cozy, get a little coffee, get a little drinky, get a little snack, and let's yap about my week, shall we? Okay, so as I mentioned, I'm not really a huge gaming person. I've just never really found it very easy. I guess maybe first of all, I get bored pretty quickly. And then secondly, I think I just lack the hand-eye dexterity that is needed with really intense gaming. But I was kind of bored and I wanted something that I could play with my long-distance friends as well as just like my husband. I was Googling it and Stardew Valley came up. My best friend Sarah had actually told me about the game like forever ago because she loves it and has played it like a million jillion times. I don't know what it is, like at the time I guess the 8-bit quality and the fact that it's just like a farming simulator never really appealed to me. But with where I'm at now in life, I think it's definitely more enjoyable. I'm not so burnt out as I was with Animal Crossing anymore, so that definitely helps. I've kind of been speedrunning a little bit because, like I mentioned, my friend Sarah has played before, and so we're doing like a co-op farm, and it's really freaking great. It's like literally the highlight of my evenings lately. We each have like our own little house, and we're just kind of like collaborating and working, and we have shared money, so everything that we're all doing, it's like basically living on a commune, which I'm obsessed with. So this has been bringing me so much joy this week. It's been like a new endeavor that I'm unlocking. I'm patiently waiting the arrival of the Hobbit game, but until then I feel like this is a really great thing, and I love the little art and the little stories and the little characters are so cute. The music is very calming. It's just like been so great to unwind and not be on my phone, because I'm gonna be honest, you guys, the past week of my phone and just overthink city over here has not been good. But that being said, my little girl there, her name is Fern, obviously. Our farm is called Clover Lane Farm, and right now we have 2 chickens. I don't know if you get to see that at some point while I'm playing. I'm still trying to figure it out. Right now we're in summer. We already had spring, and then it's only 28 days long, and the days are so freaking short. But yeah, it's just fun, just silly and cool to play, especially when you're playing with other friends. It's like a great way to connect when otherwise you're not connecting. Yeah, let me know if you've played Stardew Valley and what you think. What's your favorite character? I think I'm gonna try to romance Sebastian. He's not my top favorite character, but he's like one of the only people that are available. And I guess like I want to play the game to its fullest capacity if I get there. Honestly, you guys, it's kind of overwhelming, I'm not gonna lie. There's so much to do in such little time in a day, and I spend so much time just doing farm chores. But at the same time, there's like the novelty of exploring and learning and figuring out what everything is. I digress. Let's get into the week. So I'm gonna kind of do it in a reverse order this time and tell you about some of the things that I read or watched. Obviously, we've already been talking about Stardew Valley, but in terms of reading this past week, I started and finished The Wedding Guest. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I really, really think it was a great book. It was actually one of the runner-ups for my book club. It didn't get chosen, but I did want to go ahead and read it because it was the one that I actually voted for. Really great story, honestly, and it kind of hit home in more ways than one. The main story follows a female character who has recently gone through a divorce, kind of like contemplating her life, grieving with the loss of, what she thought her future was going to look like. And she goes to this hotel on the beach to kill herself and ends up stumbling upon a wedding and befriending the bride. And it's just like her journey of kind of like, I guess, being more free and figuring out there's more to life and getting a little bit more of her zest back. I don't know, I just thought that was a really great book, and it was equal parts funny and sarcastic, equal parts sad and real and vulnerable, which is like the perfect kind of rom-com-y trio of things that I feel like really makes a good book. The next book I read, I started and finished, was Slewfoot. I was reading that with my pal Emily. She so far is loving the book way more than what I felt about the book. I thought it was okay. I don't really get the hype, honestly. It wasn't a story that I feel like I haven't heard or read before. Gave it 2 out of 5 stars. I probably won't think much more about that book now that I've finished it. I don't think it was really anything special. And, you know, if your shtick is Puritan witch type stuff, maybe you would really enjoy it. I didn't think it was particularly spooky or scary or intriguing. Also, rewatching Stranger Things, I mentioned that last week. We're about to start the last season, y'all, and I'm getting pretty spooked. I guess I just really forgot a majority of what happens in the show, but my golly, is it freaking good and kind of scary and way more exciting than I feel like I remember it being. But I'm really excited to get to the last season. I'm also trying to kind of nurse it out a little bit because I don't want, again, to feel the loss of having finished it and then having to wait for what feels like an eternity to watch the ending. But I know it's coming, and I'm really just looking forward to seeing Eddie once again. Now, on to the main kind of caveats that were my week. Really, this week was relatively boring, I'm not gonna lie. The most notable of things that happened was I did have therapy, but I'm kind of reframing my mind into thinking that it's like a therapy date. So after therapy, I walked down to Brooksville, like Main Street. I got some coffee at one of my favorite coffee shops, Mountaineer. I actually didn't get coffee technically. I did get a chai latte with espresso, and the espresso did make me feel a little bit kooky, but it's fine and we're gonna move past it. I sat there for a little bit and I journaled and kind of reflected on my therapy, and so that was really needed. And then I walked back near where I go to therapy to a bookstore that I had never been into before. I didn't even know it was there until my last therapy session. But it was really cute, and I got a little book, a little self-help book. I haven't started reading it yet, so I don't know if it's anything like amazing or life-changing, but I suppose once I read it and finish it, I'll have an update for you. Besides that, I have ordered my yarn. I did go ahead and order the olive green color and the yellow color. What really sold me was my best friend Sarah was like, that color is so fall. That color patterning is so fall. And you know what? She's right. So I can't detest that. I think my first sock has to be true to my entity and my persona, and I think it has to be fall adjacent. It'll get the most use, I think, that way. Besides that, another update. The garden's looking great. I haven't taken any videos of it. I feel like it'll be more impactful with next week's update. A lot of things have sprouted, but they're still relatively underdeveloped in terms of there's just like little saplings. All of their leaves are pretty basic and not really true to their identity yet. So just relatively, it's looking like grass a little bit out there. But the pumpkins have sprouted, the sunflowers have sprouted, the butternut squash has sprouted. I did plant my corn. I finally remembered to soak the kernels beforehand, and I planted them and they have sprouted. So it's looking pretty good. Honestly, and my roses, which I don't think I've talked about yet, are also doing phenomenal. This is like their best year yet. It has been such a trial trying to get roses to grow and flourish and be happy looking in a zone 9. It is really a brutal struggle out here, and there is just to the core of me. Oh wait, that's my cat. I named him after my beloved cat, Severus. Shout out. It brings me so much joy to see him every day because obviously my cat is no longer with us, but he lives with me in this game, and I literally could cry thinking about that, so I'm gonna move past it. Yeah, so, you know, we got good things going on out there in the garden. It's a good time. It's so hot and humid though, and the mosquitoes, again, they are so bad. Some other things, really, y'all, besides work was great. I got to tattoo my client Mandy, who's always just the sweetest person ever. And we colored in this potion bottle, and she has another one on the other side of her leg that we've colored in previously. So beautiful. I also worked a little bit on my sister's sternum tattoo. That is such an ongoing project because, as you can imagine, getting a sternum tattoo is incredibly uncomfortable and painful. But I'm really looking forward to finishing it. All we have left is the moth to color in. And it will be so beautiful and so gorgeous and so lovely once it's all freaking finished. Now, in terms of work, this is gonna be the most low-key drop of the century because I think I've got like 2 subscribers and I think only one of y'all even follows my tattoo stuff. Shout out to my girl Bree because she's the only one listening, tuning in, and commenting. We love you. Heart eye emoji. Now, a subtle project. I'm gonna drop it a little bit here, you guys. Nobody else really knows about this. This is tea. I am working with my friend Emily, who is a freaking insane photographer. She is legitimately a creative genius. She is so beautiful, so kind, so generous. I love her so freaking much. She is literally one of the coolest people I have ever met in my entire life. And we are going to collab on a tattoo photography creative project. Now, I don't want to give too much away because God forbid this leak goes sicko mode, which I highly doubt. I want it to be, you know, still a surprise for those that are listening, and then we'll see the update on Instagram eventually. It's gonna be freaking insane. So, to preface, her and I have so much in common. In general, I think that stylistically and visually and creatively, we see things very similar. And we have like a lot of the same goals with our careers. And I mean, I've been tattooing Emily. I met her through tattooing, and I've been tattooing her since I was an apprentice. So the trust that Emily has had in me, and then the trust that I've given her to do all of my work photo shoots, my wedding, you know, there's a trust that's been built there. And to get to work with her on something creative is just so fulfilling and so life-giving. We are going to be giving a pretty substantial tattoo and stylized photo shoot away for free, with the fact that obviously this will be heavily promotional. The client who gets chosen for this project will not have any say. It's 100% free under the stipulation that you get a free tattoo, you get a stylized photo shoot, but you unfortunately do not have the creative control of what you get. Now, obviously everything will be safe for work, everything will be beautiful and, you know, whatever, and you'll obviously like see the design of your tattoo, and you know, you have autonomy. If you don't want to get it, then you just don't, and then I guess we'll choose somebody else. So totally something that I want to tattoo, all of it being documented, and then the tattoo will correspond with a thematically designed photo shoot where we will both kind of be like curating that. I don't know if I did it justice, really. It's a great freaking idea. I'm so excited. I've never seen anyone do something like this where like a tattoo corresponds with a photo shoot. And I'm just really looking forward to exploring that more with Emily and getting to do something that I feel like is really impactful for both of us. More on that to come soon on actual Instagram and on actual promotional type things. But if that's something you're interested in, definitely let me know. I'd love feedback on it. But yeah, anyways. The only other thing really that I did this week was I did go out of my way to make some bread. The bread, insanely good. I don't really have a recipe. It is a sourdough bread, just a regular loaf, but then I wove in some cheddar cheese and green onion and topped it with a little bit of like chunky flaky salt and more cheddar. Insanely good. I'm really looking forward to using that as a grilled cheese. I think it's gonna be friggin' life-changing, truly. But otherwise, you guys, really my week has been so unbelievably nonchalant. It has been, you know, me just trying to survive and, you know, spending like 2 hours a day on Stardew Valley, reading, and that's pretty much it. I'd love to know what you guys are getting up to this week. If you have any plans to look forward to, or if you did anything special or purposeful within the past week. I'm really going to try to continue journaling. I think that's helping me. And I got this really cool cartridge style fountain pen that I'm enjoying to write with. Yeah, I mean, I think next week will be a little bit better. I'll have a little bit more fun stuff happening in my life that I can record and show you guys. But this week just really wasn't that week, and that is the name of the game when I'm trying to show you my week. But I hope that what I did have to say was fun and interesting. I hope that you guys are having a great week. I'd love, again, to know if you are playing Stardew Valley or if you ever have. The layout, even from this video, has changed a bit because I recorded this maybe like 2 days ago. And since then, we have, like I mentioned, 2 chickens. And I have shifted the chicken coop over a little bit. I've made more fencing, more pathways. I just expanded the house to have a kitchen. So we'll be able to make some food now, which is freaking needed, let me tell you, because your girl be dying all the time. I'm exhausted all the time. What's new? And honestly, I feel bad because I don't have much more to say, but the gameplay continues on for another 20 minutes with Sarah being there. I guess I just won't say anything anymore, and maybe I'll just let this finish and you can continue watching if you want. But otherwise, yeah. Something I wanted to start integrating into these, because now that I'm aware that people might actually be commenting, again, sorry Brianna, is I have a question. I want to ask a weekly question and I want to get feedback, about whatever the weekly question is. And I think this week's weekly question would be, if you had a farm, what would your farm name be? It was kind of hard for me to choose one, honestly. I had tons of I don't really know why I even came to Clover Lane Farms. Maybe I have heard that from somewhere, like a book or something, and then I just kept it. But I love Clover, and Lane sounded good with Clover, and farm I didn't get to choose because it's already part of the package. But yeah, I want to know your farm name. I want to know what your farm would specialize in if you got to choose. So mine, even outside of Stardew Valley, would be Clover Lane Farms. And then I think I would want to specialize in probably, maybe zinnias? I love zinnia flowers. I think they're so pretty. So maybe just like flowers as, a broad spectrum. But zinnias and, whatever else. Honestly, it depends on my zone. Girl, this could be a whole nother conversation. Because, like I said, Zone 9 is miserable. I'm so jealous of everyone that lives in a different state and can do more and can grow more. Question of the week. Let me know in the comments below. And I'll see you in just a few days for the weekly update for this week. Currently, today's Saturday as I'm recording this. I hope that you are well and you stay well until then. And I will see you soon. Okay, bye.